I'm going to talk about the Canadian permanent residency process. I will walk through the process for software engineering skill type, which is of type A in the National Occupancy Classification List. We will come to the National Occupancy Classification List in a bit. We would start with the Canada government website, which is canada.ca, and in that we should search for Express Entry. Express Entry is the program which is used by the Immigration Department to organize and process permanent residence applications. On the government website, you would see something that says, how Express Entry works, and you should always come and search for this program on this website because the instructions could change from time to time. When we go into the web page which says how Express Entry works, it talks about three different programs managed under Express Entry: Canadian Experience Class, Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trade Program. And we are going to focus into the Federal Skilled Worker Program because the use case that I am taking up for this video is a software engineer who has experience working outside of Canada, how that person can apply for Express Entry. Although much of it can be used by other skilled worker program beneficiaries. So we want to understand more about this, and clearly we should click learn more here, and that takes us to the eligibility criteria. Now, before applying or creating a profile in the Express Entry setup, you should verify that you are meeting the minimum requirements or not. And when you go into the minimum requirements section, it talks about that you should have skilled work experience, which must be within last 10 years for the NOC that you are applying for. And if for some reason you are not sure about, what is the occupational classification type for you, you should go into this list, which is available on this particular page, and you can sorry no on this one, and like for example software. So for software there are two uh, skills type, the NOC 2147 and 2173. And if you want to read more about that, what is covered under 2173, there is another web page that you can find more information about, like 2173 software engineers and designers, what exactly that means. All these type of software roles are part of this skill type. What are the duties that they should be performing? Because when you are going to submit the your profile, you must have experience certificates that tells that this is what you are doing in your job, because otherwise it is very difficult for someone in the immigration department to see whether you are actually doing that job or not. Coming back to the minimum eligibility criteria, so you must have experience in for that NOC within the last 10 years. It should be paid work. You should have, like, 1 year of continuous work, and there are a bunch of other things also, but those are the two main things. And then you must have taken an approved language test. IELTS is one of the approved language tests, and whenever you are about to apply for a test, you should look at that, which one are the approved language tests. And you must get a minimum score of CLB 7. CLB 7, if you compare it with IELTS, it is like you have to score at the minimum 6 in all sections. Your language test should be within last 2 years, and you should think about that. Like, depending upon when you are going to apply for Express Entry, it should be minimum in that time period. Okay, so once you have looked at the minimum requirements, the other set of requirement is that you have to also check that on 100-point grid. So, like, the minimum criteria is that if you meet all the minimum requirements which we just discussed, We will then assess your application based on these things. And then these factors are part of 100 point grid, and you have to score at the minimum 67. So when we look at the selection factor point grid, this is what it is. You will get some points based on language. So based on your IELTS test. On this document or on the web page, it is mentioned in the form of CLB, but you can find out like its relation to IELTS, and I think I have it somewhere here. Yes, I have it here. So CLB like 7 is 6 in IELTS, and so on and so forth. So you should do that comparison and then see, like, as per your results, how much you can score. Maximum is 24 points, so you should give yourself some points like that. And then, have you taken up second official language like French, and then you can score, give yourself points on the basis of that, based on how much score you have got. uh, Another important thing is education. So for foreign education, important thing is that we would have to get educational credential assessment done, and there is a process that is listed very well here. And when you look at who is the designated organization that you can go and ask them to do your assessment. In my case, I went to the World Education Services, and what you have to do in that is that, again, on their website, you would know the steps and everything, but at the very minimum, or at a high level, you have to submit your transcripts, and they will evaluate and verify and give you a report saying that your education is deemed as equivalent to this much in Canadian terms. So you should do that, and then on the basis of that, you should calculate the points, and you can read more about it, like what does it mean. So based on whatever, whether it is bachelor's and XYZ, you can give yourself points. So once you have done that, then your work experience. um, and I think somewhere, yeah, so here it tells you that how many points you should give yourself, if based on number of experience years. But again, one thing that you have to make sure is that whatever NOC you are picking up, and in this video we are focusing on software engineer, we have to make sure that whatever documents you have, that those should talk about your duties that are mentioned in this web page. All right, then you have some point on age. If you have employment arranged in Canada or job offer, fantastic, you will get maximum 10 points for that. All right, so once you have done that, there are some points for a spouse as well, again on her education, language test, and experience. Once you have done that and you know that you are going to score more than 67, or at least 67, then you're good to go. And what does that mean? So good to go. Now you are, you know that you meet the criteria, and you should create an express entry profile. Then, before you do that, one other good thing that you should do is that you should check your comprehensive score. Now, this is a different score which is going to be used by the immigration department to request for invitations. and they follow a cutoff, like whatever the maximum is, depending upon how many applications that they can take on a given month. They will send invites, and the invite depends on the CRS score. The more the score, the better the chances are. So you should go and use the CRS tool to estimate your score, and I have that opened here as well. And it is like pretty straightforward. You would have to answer questions, and like there are more points if like your spouse is a permanent resident in Canada. But let's say that that is not the case. And to keep it simple, let's say we are 30 years of age, and then you have master's degree. You do not have any Canadian degree. You have taken IELTS, and like for the purpose of this video, let's say that you have scored fantastic, which is rather difficult, but yeah, easy to assume. Do you have other language results? If you have, then it is good. If not, let's go ahead. So for say the skill type A, and you have 5 years or more experience. In the last 10 years, how many of your total years of foreign skilled work experience do you have? So we have foreign. What is this one? How many years of skilled work in Canada? So in Canada, we don't have any. Do you have a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province? We do not have in this case, but yeah, clearly if you have, you will get some points for that. Do you have a valid job offer? Let's say you have a valid job offer, and our skill type is A. We do not have any nomination. Again, if you have nomination from a province, your chances of getting invitation would go up, because of you will get some more points. Do you or your spouse have, let's say we don't have anyone, highest level of education? Again, for your spouse, let's say masters. How many in Canada? We don't have any experience in Canada. IELTS, and let's go with max scores again. Alright, so now we are calculating score. So in total we got 521 points with all the information that we supplied. We are getting 95 points for the age. We are getting 126 for education, languages. Then there is spouse factor, skills transferability, foreign work experience, job. Now clearly we did not get any point for studying in Canada, sibling in Canada, French language skills, province nomination. If we get some points for those as well, we will boost the chances of getting our application shortlisted quicker. Now, to understand that what's happening, like where is the Canadian government in terms of sending the request for application. So that information also is available on the same the government side, and you should search for rounds of invitations. So if we look at in the month of August, date and time of round was August 17th, and they have a time as well. Number of invitations, these many invitations were issued, and the cutoff was 525. So now you can assume, like whenever next round of invitations will happen, the scores less than 525 will be called. And again, it depends, like total number of invitation that the government want to issue, how further the CRS score will go down. But you can keep an eye on how things are progressing for the express entry program, and try and see if there are any other avenues for you to increase your score. Yeah. Anyways, so I think that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions for me. Thanks for watching.